Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So if you are joining us from either of those platforms, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment down below. Hopefully I'll be able to address anything as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can address anything individually for you. Well, let's get started here with a look at our headlines for the weather. What are we watching for the next couple of days? Well, we did have that cold front that was moving through the tri-state earlier this afternoon and into the first part of our evening. We had originally had an alert day in effect for today because it looked like there was the potential for maybe some severe storms, but that threat dropped yesterday, so we were able to also drop that alert for this afternoon. But we still caught a few rumbles of thunder. There was even a stronger storm that developed and pushed through areas like Du Bois County, but a lot of people ended up staying fairly quiet today, and that was kind of the trend headed into our Friday. And now we're nice and clear through the rest of the night tonight, and then we'll start to see those clouds begin to increase through early tomorrow morning. But we're going to be turning very cold once we get through tomorrow night. We'll have another cold front swing through. This one's going to be a drier front, not as much moisture with it. We could still see a few spotty rain showers, but more importantly is it is really going to take those temperatures down as we get into Sunday, dropping down into the 40s, and it looks like there may even be the potential for some flurries or light snow showers Sunday night, especially early into Monday morning. So let's take a look at our setup right now. We've got this cold front that's currently still pushing off to our east. Again, a lot of the convection associated with it now draped up and along extreme eastern portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, now pushing into areas like Virginia, up into areas like Pennsylvania and New England, and even seeing some snowfall for my friends back up in northern Maine. I just actually saw a post from one of my meteorology friends at my old station talking about how the snow was sticking to the ground. But here's a look at our current setup across the tri-state. Again, not seeing any action here within southern Indiana, western Kentucky, or southern Illinois. So it's a nice quiet evening for the rest of tonight. Temperatures have cooled down significantly from earlier today. We topped out all the way in the upper 60s for many of us, but as soon as that sun sets, this time of year, temperatures cool off quickly. So now we've dropped mostly into the upper 40s to low to mid 50s. 51 right now in Evansville, 49 in Henderson and Harrisburg. Some of the warmer spots on the map, 56 down towards Madisonville, sitting at around 59 in Greenville. But looking at your next 12 hours, temperatures continue to drop down into the lower 40s overnight tonight. And again, that cloud cover increases through early tomorrow morning, but we should stay dry throughout the day on Saturday. We're tracking out just partly cloudy skies, temperatures warming back up above average, similar to where we got to today, into the upper 60s, with winds out of the west-southwest between 4 to 8 miles per hour. But the shower chances and that cold front doesn't move in until Saturday night. So let me track all of that out here for you. So there's that increase in cloud cover through tomorrow morning, and then as we get through the afternoon, still staying dry, just some areas of sun and clouds. Then that front begins to work its way in later on in the evening. Saturday, this is around 9 o'clock. It does keep a lot of the shower activity mostly to the north of the Ohio River. So maybe even some folks in western Kentucky stay completely dry even through Saturday night. But that low continues to push off to the northeast and strengthens as it lifts up through the Great Lakes region. And what that does is it's going to pull into that cooler air from the northwest. You can see the wind barbs here coming in from the northwest, and the color of them is blue. That is indicating pretty strong cold air advection moving into the tri-state through the day on Sunday. So here's a look at our temperatures. So this is going to really do a number. We're topping out in the upper 60s on Saturday. We're going to be barely reaching the low to mid 40s by the time we get into Sunday and Monday. And then you factor in the wind gusts, gusting up to 25 miles per hour for Sunday and on Monday. That is going to keep those feels like temperatures in the 30s throughout the entire day. So it is going to be very, very cold end of the weekend and start of the work week. And check out those morning lows. Waking up Monday morning, temps will be in the mid 20s, but again, factoring in the wind chill at that time, it could feel like we're only in the teens, and the same thing goes for Tuesday morning. So making sure you know where your winter coat is and your gloves and your hat is so that you don't have to really stress about digging them out at the last minute. So hopefully you can locate those items because it is going to be chilly, but it is a brief cold snap. Temperatures start to warm back up as we get into Veterans Day around the lower 50s, and then we'll start to climb back up to near normal to around 60 degrees by the middle and end of next week. So again, not a long duration Arctic blast that we're seeing here, but it is going to be the first shot of true cold air that we've had so far this season. And I do want to take you through a look at those feels like temperatures. So going through the day on Sunday, feeling like we're only in the mid 30s for a lot of us. And then there's that feels like temperature waking up Monday morning, feeling like 19 degrees, and then going throughout the day on Monday, still feeling like we're in the 30s, and then waking up again Tuesday morning to temperatures in the upper teens to right around 20 degrees before we start to warm back up. Now, that is kind of the situation through the weekend there. Now, there is another component to this that the models have kind of been flip-flopping around on, especially the European model, is that potential for some flurries. Now, I do think we will see that chance for at least some flurries once we get into Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. We're not expecting really a whole lot of accumulation, but where the models do differ is it does send in another piece of energy from the north that may conjure up some additional snow showers waking up Monday morning, and then that's going to clear out of here through Monday afternoon. Now, the GFS model doesn't really have us with the flurries for Sunday night, and it doesn't have that second round of snow showers really as we get into Monday morning. It kind of keeps us on the drier side entirely. So the models are a bit split there. I do still think we'll get that chance to see some flurries, especially Sunday evening, but in terms of the snow showers possible for Monday morning, that is still a little bit up in the air. I would still consider, or at least think that we would get that chance for flurries, especially if that upper level low swings in through Monday. But regardless, either solution, what happens, whether we see flurries or not, we're not really expecting a huge impact for it, not expecting it to accumulate really on anything. Maybe you could see a dusting on a grassy surface out there for Monday early in the morning, but that's about as impactful as these flurries are going to be. But if there are any changes or if there's any more increase in confidence, of course, I will be here to let you know. We'll be tracking that out through the weekend. But exciting stuff, first flakes of the season. I know a lot of people get excited for it. I'm not necessarily excited. I prefer when it's warm, which is what brings me to this point here. We are going to start to warm back up, and you can see my smile comes back to my face as well. So looking at your 7-day forecast, just to kind of wrap everything up in a little bit of a bow here, going through the weekend, huge roller coaster ride in terms of temperatures. We're going to be topping out in the upper 60s tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, a few sprinkles possible Saturday night. Cold air moves in for Sunday, topping out only in the low to mid 40s for our highs. Feels like temperatures in the 30s, potential for some flurries, especially Sunday night into early Monday morning. But really the more impactful component of this is the temperatures. Waking up Monday morning down into the mid 20s, feels like temperatures in the upper teens, and then the same thing happens overnight Monday into Tuesday morning with those cold overnight lows in the mid 20s and teens waking up Tuesday morning. But we'll start to warm back up as we get into Veterans Day with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, getting back up into the 50s and then climbing up to near normal through the middle and end of next week, topping back out around 60 degrees. Much happier for me. But let's take a look at some of these questions and comments. It looks like Dan Lee's saying good evening to all of you. Good evening to you, Dan. Lacey is watching from Henderson. We're glad you're here. Lenny, also on my side, he says good evening, but he hates the cold weather. I do too, but you know, we just got to stick it out. We had summer for a very long time. We can't get too upset that it's getting cold now that it is November. I don't want to deal with this cold or potential flurries either, but alas, here we are. Dan, maybe throwing some advice out there, disconnect your outside hose before the freeze. Yeah, doing anything you can to kind of winterize the house, making sure you know, your heater is working, making sure especially your car is prepped for the cold weather, especially your air pressure and your tires. A lot of the times, if you haven't been keeping up on that, especially with the last couple of months, the first true cold snap, a lot of the times, a lot of folks' tire pressure will actually decrease, and you'll get those warning lights on your dashboard. So doesn't necessarily mean you popped a tire or you have a slow leak, but making sure you're filling them up and they're nice and full for you as you head out in those colder temperatures. And then it says, Dan says, I guess I have some leaf duty this weekend before the cold. Yes, if you have any lingering leaves hanging out in your backyard, I think Saturday would probably be the best day to do it. It's going to be warm and mostly dry out there. And then with all the wind that we're expected to get through Sunday and into Monday, in addition to those colder temperatures, a lot of those leaves are going to get knocked off the trees anyway. So we're kind of reaching peak color. So tomorrow really going to be the last day to get out and fully enjoy all of those leaves before I think the cold air is going to kill all the leaves, and then the wind behind it is going to knock them off the trees. So we're getting into winter now once we transition into the middle of November. So that is all I'm seeing here. And it says Ricky is saying, hello, Michael. Hello to you too. But I'm going to hop off the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody stay safe and have a great rest of your night. And I'll be back here again throughout the weekend.